Hello, my name is Amber Showalter. It's my great privilege to introduce the featured poet, my father, Terry Jude Miller, a resident of Richmond, Texas. He's the recipient of a plethora of poetry awards, including the 2018 Catherine Case Lubbock Manuscript Prize and the Georgia Poetry Society 2018 Langston Hughes Award. His work has been published in the Southern Poetry Anthology and in scores of other publications, including anthologies of Austin International Poetry Festival and the Rio Grande Valley International Poetry Festival, the Texas Poetry Calendar, the Houston Literary Review, Boston Literary Magazine, the Edison Literary Review, and the Birmingham Arts Journal. He has published 4 books of poetry and is the creator of the Texas Poets Podcast and the Poets Society of Texas Podcasts. Please enjoy these poems.
Forgiveness. The unforgivable teaches us well. It bends us first toward, then away from our anger. The cruel flames of its bellows refines and purifies us. We are either consumed or made brilliant. Forgiveness is character's longest and most exacting process. We should forgive ourselves if we don't get it perfect. Love like water. The poet Lee Young Lee says that when he tries to write a love poem to his wife, it ends up being a poem to God. Perhaps love is like water, constantly searching for its source, traveling through porous rock, rising to the clouds, falling back to earth as need and want demands. Love cycles and recycles, creates new from old, exists as itself to birth more of itself. Perhaps Lee Young loves his wife like God loves him, unwavering, constant, deeply, and the pen in Lee's hand draws the line on the paper all the way through. Resilience. I write in a dark room, roll the grubby currency of grammar through a poem that isn't going anywhere when I notice the moon has multiplied itself in the bird bath just outside the window. It is as though lonely brilliance is trying to drown itself within 2 inches of unrippled rainwater, but instead rises to the top, floats in coolness, and stares at its frozen original in the sky. I return to my work, cross out a line that says grief is overpowering, and replace it with a few words regarding the resilience of light and the unconquerable spirit. And there, in the night, I come to understand the 2 faces of suffering, endurance and healing, turning over and over their common axis, a flipped coin in search of rest. Scar. The scar that travels from my right ear to the middle of my throat is a masterpiece of surgeon skill. A surgeon who said to death, "You will not have him." My rigid, ragged friend is a testament to a small army of healthcare workers who listened to the sliced air of the sickle and came to my aid. When curious children trace my badge with tiny, innocent fingers and ask, "What happened?" I smile and say, "We won." The secret of cells. In my creaky iron bed, when my body believes I am asleep, my atoms disengage, slip from my flesh like salmon swimming upstream. Parts of me are returning to the stars from which I came. They do this in dark silence so that I may not discover there is more to me than I know. Musician wife. On long drives, my neck tendons become guitar strings. My wife reaches over, places her practiced palm on the back of my head, and strums me a love song. Mantra. Resonating from my center, you are my mantra, my synchronization with the universe, the ever calling song, threading flesh to soul. I am unraveled in your absence.